Greetings once again, adventurers. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with more Eden Zero. Previously, after the crew of Edens activated code 3173, everyone was transported to Universe Zero, a universe of absolutes. Everything there would become solidified, and there were no do-overs, meaning Rebecca was unable to use her ability to travel from timeline to timeline. But because of the nature of their last trip, though things have essentially started from Chapter 1, with Rebecca traveling to Grand Bell, and essentially meeting Shiki for the first time again, they were able to recall their previous lives, essentially having two sets of memory, one from the previous universe and one from this one. A universe where Happy never had his consciousness transplanted into a robot body. A universe where Grand Bell and the citizens therein never ran out of energy and ether, so they didn't have to shoo Shiki away, not allowing him to see their inevitable demise. And, as it turns out, the Eden Zero was stored beneath Grand Bell this entire time, and not taken by Elsie Crimson. What other changes will we see? And, since the Eden Zero is on Grand Bell, Witch is also there. Although, since she was not present at the opening of code 3173. Does that mean she will not retain any of the memories from the previous universe? While it is good to see her, will we essentially end up knowing a different witch in the end? Regardless, it's good to have our old friend back. So join me for the journey once again, won't you? Alright, Eden Zero, chapter 223. Memories and abilities. Nice. That's a good question too. Do they retain any of the abilities they had previously? And man, I can't tell you how much I've missed Witch. Not having her in the series for a good while really has made it abundantly clear how beloved her character was to this series. Would you like a peek? This is Witch's playground. Yes, I'll peek at anything you show me, lady. Reuniting with an irreplaceable friend and ally, they set off on an adventure in a new world. They say world, but they mean universe, timeline, whatever. We pick up with the Eden Zero, cruising through the Sakura cosmos, and I guess they've explained the whole situation to Wit, who perplexed says, "So, to summarize, all of you came from 3 years in the future, you say?" Shiki says, "Roughly speaking, yeah." Man, it's so weird to see young Shiki again. 3-year prior Shiki. Not saying I hated the time skip variants, but I don't know, something about having classic Shiki back. Happy says, "It's like history is repeating itself, but things are a little different. Even the way we got this ship wasn't the same." Yeah, Wise was with them last time. Rebecca explains, "The biggest difference is that this is the final world. We can't travel through time in Universe Zero." Which muses, "I've always considered that to be the case for one's life. You only live once, which is why you mustn't regret it." Rebecca smiles, saying, "Yeah, that's true." Shiki says, "We get the crew together and head for Mother. That's the goal of this ship." Second verse, same as the first. Get the crew, head to Mother. Witch bows and says, "Understood. I, Witch of the Demon King's 4 shining stars, and Shield of Edens, will give my very life to protect you all." Shiki says, "No. This time, make your life your top priority." Witch pauses, but then smiles, lifting her head up, saying, "I understand." Damn right. Don't you go dying on me this time. Of course, it wouldn't be a Mashima creation if we didn't have a bath scene. As we pick up with Happy and Rebecca in the bath, with her joyously saying, "It's the spa of Edens," and Happy saying, "Bath time." It's also good because she didn't have to deal with the parasites this time around either. Although Witch's Awakening would have cleaned that up instantly like before. Again, I'm watching the Eden Zero anime for the first time now too. So I've seen all of this stuff go down just recently too, in the anime. Dang. Some literal TNA. Rebecca says, "Wow, this takes me back. It feels so good." You also have Witch relaxing in the bath, saying, "This bath has the effect of simulating one's ether." Rebecca happily says, "I know that. That's how I was able to use ether gear, you know." But Witch pauses and says, I have just one question. It appears that you have all inherited your memories of the previous world, but what about your ability?" Rebecca says, "Good point. I wonder if I can use ether gear," as she looks at her feet. But, sure enough, ether starts to activate in her feet, with Happy being happy at the sight of it. Rebecca says ether lines, as Witch gets excited as well. But suddenly, Rebecca's feet act as if they have a mind of their own, moving on without her control. As she shouts, "Wait, my power's out of control!" She goes spiraling up to the ceiling, hitting it. Witch says, "Oh dear." And Happy says, "I think I've seen this before." Yeah, but before she managed to blast like a hole through the dome. See, this activation is a lot more in tune with the ability of Cat Leaper. Well, the accelerated speed abilities of it anyway. And as Rebecca starts to fall back towards the bath, suddenly a portal opens up, and out pops Shiki into the bath. Much to Happy's shock, Shiki says, "I was just practicing with my powers when suddenly," but Witch interjects saying, "Lord Demon King, above you." And as he looks upward, he sees Rebecca's butt crashing right into his face. Lucky bastard. And just like before, we pick up with Witch giving Rebecca a nice massage. As Rebecca sighs, saying, "I've missed these so much." Witch's massages. Man, there's so much fan service here. Again, a staple of Mashima. Rebecca starts to tear up with a smile on her face, which then asks the obvious question you would ask. Nobody wouldn't. She asks, "How did I lose my life in the previous world?" Rebecca pauses, thinking about it. Witch's last stand aboard the Eden Zero, shielding everyone from that massive blast. Rebecca explains, "By protecting us and the ship, you saved us all." Which simply says, "That's quite an honorable end." But Rebecca takes offense, saying, "That's why you can't die, not in this world. We can't lose a crewmate a second time." Which simply says, "That is what the Demon King ordered, so I will protect you without fail." I don't know. I feel she gives off the feeling of, well, I do the same thing in a heartbeat. Like, it's funny too. We have Elsie as the parallel to Urza from Fairy Tail, but honestly, the feeling of that Witch gives off is more in tune with Urza than anything else. If anything, Elsie came off more like a bit like Urza Nightwalker, but the kind of big sister kind of appeal is definitely Wit. Although, a little bit of sister, but not so much. Rebecca then says, "This time I'm going to give you a massage," which explains machines do not have a concept of stiff muscles. Rebecca says, "Yeah, but it's important to relax your artificial muscles on a regular basis," which says, I have a dedicated maintenance kit for that." Rebecca feels dejected, saying, "I just wanted to do something for you, Wit." Which then says, "In that case, would you consider becoming a test subject for this mind-numbing torture and pleasure massage, if I may ask?" Rebecca blushes, saying, "That's a bit. Isn't that what Happy was subjected to that one time?" And now we pick up in Planet Norma. Okay. Here's the questions I also have. Does the chronophage still exist in this world? How will the events of Norma go down? What about Pino? Like, there's a lot of stuff that I'm just like, okay, what's different here? Okay, we head down to the underground of Norma. Got Shiki, Happy, and Rebecca looking around. With Shiki saying, "This planet got eaten by the chronophage last time, right?" Happy says, "It sure looks that way." And Rebecca says, "Norma from 50 years ago." Okay, so it was consumed by the chronophage again. Shiki smiles to them, saying, "Then let's go get Wise and Pino back already." And we pick up at Wise's house. Oh god. Wise with that old hairstyle, man. Honestly, I kind of feel like he should keep it just because, I don't know, I like him better as not blonde gray. But sure enough, Wise holding Shiki, Rebecca, and Happy at gunpoint, telling them, "Nobody move. What are you doing in my house?" Oh my god! The difference this time! Okay, so when they see Wise, they just are all smiles. But then we see Wise's mom, who calls from the top floor saying, "Wise, did you bring guests? If they're visiting, I'll have to serve up some tea. Welcome, are you his friends?" Wise shouts, "Shut up, stay out of this, you old hag. Do not talk to your mother like that." God, what a brat. Rebecca turns, questioning his mom. With Shiki saying, "You call your own parent a hag?" Although Wise is confused, saying, "Wait, who the hell even are you, punk?" But Shiki just grabs the case in Wise's hand. He stole from... again? Oh my god. I guess even with a parrot, Wise is still Wise. But Shiki summons the case in Wise's hand, saying, "Never mind, just give me that case." Wise shouts, "What? I just got that!" And Shiki opens the case with voice activation for Master, and out pops Pino. Aw, look at the little baby Pino. I've missed her cuteness. And naturally, Rebecca and Happy fawn over her. Wise is completely clueless. Pino looks around while Shiki tells her, "We are your friends." And sure enough, the memories come up back, but you also see Pino in her original design, and it's just like, Old design Pino wasn't bad, but once Mashima kind of refined her design, it's the cutest thing around. And sure enough, the memories come flooding back to both Wise and Pino. Oh, all the good time. Wise holds his head, saying, "Shiki? Rebecca? Huh? What am I feeling?" With Pino saying, "Master? Happy?" And then Wise and looks at Pino, and they just call out to each other with Happy and Rebecca and Shiki just beaming at each other. But then Wise kind of realizes from the old universe how he lost his mother. And he starts welling up with tears and goes racing up to her from the stairs as she comes out holding a tray of tea, saying, "If you want the tea, I'm bringing it now." But as he hugs his mom, the tray hits the floor and she's so confused, saying, "What's gotten over you?" While Wise is just in tears and joy, saying, "Mom, you're alive in this world." And she just says, "Of course I am. Even if I died, I wouldn't rest easy until you became a fully fledged adult." Yeah. Wait, so what about Draken Joe? Does he not exist in this timeline? Because it says the mother whose life was stolen by Draken in the previous world is alive. Could Universe Zero be a world where everyone is happy? Shiki and the gang's adventure continue, with Shiki saying next is Sister and Homura. See, I really am wondering, is it nothing but positive stuff? I don't hate that, honestly, but it's weird. I mean, what about Saber? How did Pino still end up back in Norma? There's a lot of things that are just so much more positive here. Why does Draken Joe not exist? And if he does, what changed? This makes me wonder. For Gilf, is it no longer enslaving people? What about Lobelia? What about Jin? I mean, he says Sister and Homura, and granted, they didn't become allies with Jin until much later, after the encounter on Gilf. But, I mean, they picked up Homura at Blue Garden, so she shouldn't be on Gilf. I'm not sure how this is all gonna go down. And what about the artificial sister? Man, I'm curious. It really is just interesting seeing what changes have been made, because these are some big ones. It changes a lot in terms of the story. Like, what about all the beekeepers that were being enslaved that Rebecca befriended? Because it was only through that saving of the beekeepers that Rebecca started to become more popular, because she befriended so many of them. Like, it became a very big positive boon for Rebecca. Not saying I want to see them enslaved, but still. And again, what happened to Saber in this universe? Did Wise never end up on the wrong side of him? Are we not taking him on? Are we not dealing with the Saber family? Not to mention, Shiki's level of skill. It's obvious that, they're all now very inexperienced with their abilities. Is speed running all of this really going to help them out in the end? There's a lot of questions here. So interesting. Well, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you feel all of this is too good to be true? Is there a gut punch waiting for us at the end of all of this, where things just go terribly wrong? What happened to Saber? Why did Jack and Joe not initiate his plan for immortality? I initially thought the chronophage existed because of time travel and all that, but maybe not. There's so many questions abound, but I want to hear from you. But also remember to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next video. But until then, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.